and 3 for Tagovailoa. The pressure is there, the run is on, hits the deck, gets the first and fumbles the ball. And it's picked up by Marcus Epps. You saw the success under 40 for the kicker Carlson. He's now made it 45 consecutive field goals in. Wilson on the move. Tagovailoa. Nice catch. Here goes Hill. Kiss him goodbye. Touchdown.
Antonio Pierce told us that he wanted him to be more vocal now that he's the starting quarterback, and that's what he's done.
1st and 10. Going deep. Oh, he's got Adams. That is a touchdown. What a throw. In the red zone. Let's see. 2 into the air. He's got it. He's got it. Touchdown. Armstead the block, and he's got his tight end. And that is a loose ball. Hill had it, we think, and it was recovered on a fumble at the 33-yard line. Grabbed by Diablo on the hit by Hobbs. The 7-yard field goal try by Daniel Carlson. High snap, put down, and you can book it. And it's a 1-point game. The Dolphins. 1st and 10. Fake to Mostert. Blocked by Cotton. Going deep for Waddle and picked off. It's intercepted on the play by Polamalu. Ruminor the block. The throw by Okada. It's picked off, intercepted. Ramsey's got it. This is in his wheelhouse. As evidenced by that kick. 17-13. Dolphins by 4. 1-yard field goal try. And he's going to get this one right down the middle.
Been much success here in the second half, so
2nd down and 6. On the cross. Oh, the hurdle. Renfro keeps his balance. Look at him fly. Breaking one tackle after another. Inside the 30. And Ramsey's on Myers. 4th and 6. Here comes the pressure. Grabbed. Thrown. Intercepted Phillips. On the big hit by Christian Wilkins. The Dolphin defense does it. And there's a catch made by Tucker. O'Connell is 23 of 38. Parham the block and downfield. They got Adams. And he gets out of bounds. 2nd down and 10. Good time. Going deep. Looking for Tucker. Intercepted. Another one for Ramsey.
Welcome back, Raider Nation, to our Thanksgiving celebration. Oh, man. Hope you guys are having a great holiday weekend. We are getting ready over here. We are getting excited. The Raiders, unfortunately, did take an L on Sunday to the Dolphins, but you know what? I don't think anybody's that mad about it. But let's get into it. First off, right off the bat, we have a guest this week. We're really excited to introduce our man Chris from Protect the Shield podcast, right? That's what it's called, Protect the Shield? Yes, yeah. And I know he's based out of Ohio, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Columbus, Ohio is kind of a random place for a Raider fan, but yeah, that's where I'm from, man. Born and raised.
That's excellent. That's excellent, man. Well, we're glad to have you, man. I always see you doing a lot of stuff on Twitter and you're making your own content. So definitely want to get people over there checking you out and see what you're up to. And then, of course, we got the guy that we all started together, Raider Joe. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, Raider Nation? Doing great, man. Just Chiefs week, baby. That's the way I look at it. Like if you're SC, it's always a Stanford week, bro, or whatever. But right now it's Chiefs week. And speaking of Ohio, Chris, there's no odd place for a Raider fan, bro. Raiders are everywhere, baby. You know, it doesn't matter. Ohio can be in Egypt, bro. There's Raider fans everywhere.
Yeah, you're not lying about that, man. One of my, we have like a little networking group that we have, and one of our guys that's in our network, man, he's from Australia, man.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's wild, man.
That's the beauty of the internet. We can all really connect and do some cool things together. So we're really happy to have you, man. And just want to see your thoughts on last week's game. I watched every snap like we always do. And I was just stunned by the fact that the Raiders stayed in the game so long as they did. I think the point spread was like 14 points that the Raiders were favored to lose to the Dolphins. And I just love to hear your guys' thoughts because I thought it was an exciting game. I thought, first half, you're at 14-13. You go into halftime, and then you come out of the locker room, boom, you get an interception, and just like sky's the limit. But unfortunately, it didn't go our way. A lot of missed opportunities. But anybody want to chime in? I'd just love to hear your thoughts on the game, guys.
Yeah, I can start off. Yeah, I was actually at the game, man. So it was it was awesome just being there for one. You know, Raider fans, we traveled, so there was a lot of Raider fans in there. We were loud. But just watching the game, I mean, as you guys know, you know, Antonio Pierce has given our fan base, you know, just like a shot of adrenaline. So we went in there excited, even though we were probably most of us, you know, were, you know, we kind of had to check our expectations because, you know, we're dealing with the number one offense, so much speed out there. We're dealing with the coach that, you know, was a great play caller on the other end. But to be honest, you know, the way that we came out there on defense, we played with intensity, played with passion. You know, just being there, I was just excited and fired up the whole time. But it was just, you know, you look at Max and you look at guys just flying around on defense, and then they give us the ball back and we can't do nothing with it. You know, it's just so frustrating, you know, seeing that offense, man. And they can't, I mean, even during the McDaniels times, I mean, it's that lack of execution, you know, missing blocks, you know, not catching the ball, penalties, Aiden holding the ball too long. You know, it's just a lot of different things. But just from a, you know, feel standpoint, you know, it felt great. And I really think that we could springboard, even though it's a loss, we could spring that on to the next week in KC.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. I watched Hard Knocks last night. They had the Hard Knocks Miami Dolphins, so they were featuring that Raider game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw it, but I guess somebody dumped nachos on Tyreek Hill's wife at the game. That was kind of funny. But or actually, I think she bumped the nachos and they fell. Kind of messed up. But Joe, what did you think of the game?
You know, I like what Chris said. You know, it was exciting, right? I mean, we watched it. We didn't have the opportunity to go. This is a game that we were thinking about going to, Chris, but we decided not to.
Yeah.
You know, during the McDaniels years, we decided not to spend that money to go fly out to Miami because we didn't want to support the team. Now, if AP would have taken over a few weeks ago, we probably would have had time to plan it. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm very excited about the defense. You know, to see them running around getting turnovers. You know, we've been yelling for that the last couple of years. To see that the last couple of games, it's really exciting. The offense, you know, unfortunately, right now it wasn't clicking with McDaniels, and now that we went to Aiden, we have to understand that hey, we're going to go through our growing pains with him, and if we can just withstand that and win a couple of games that maybe are tough, and you know what, you know, to your point, like. We have to watch our expectations going into the Miami game. I was talking to Raider Earn yesterday. You know, they always say there's no moral victories in the NFL. Fuck that. That was a moral victory yesterday not to get blown out that was a moral victory not to get blown out on Sunday. If you would have told me, you know, before the game that, you know, we'll have the last possession driving for a touchdown to try and tie it or win it, yeah. I'll take that 99 out of 100 times, because if this was four weeks ago, you'd be telling me Raiders down by 30 in the fourth quarter, you know? So just to see the passion with these guys playing, and it's amazing to see just a group of men together, playing together. You know, the same players they had with McDaniels, bro. You're just now inspired to play, and you're having fun doing it, and you see the difference. I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm saying that, you know, we can beat. We showed yesterday we can beat anybody, and I anticipate Kansas City game to be a close game. You know, just like this one, and we're going to be at home this time. Hopefully, we can pull it off.
Yeah, you know, I was sharing with Chris earlier, Joe, before you jumped on, that we've been doing this for about 15 years. You know, and
fuck you, Roy. After 15 years, fuck you.
15 years is a long time, and I think in those 15 years that we've been doing it, I don't think the Raiders have had a good defense, man. I don't think, you know, not at this, and who knows? I mean, it could be anything, but you guys said it. This was the number one offense. total yards, scoring, everything, even the third-rated rushing game, and they still had their own. They kept it under control. And the other thing that crazy to me is I was on the East Coast, which, we always laugh on this show, Chris, because we always say the Raiders never do good on the East Coast. They never do good on that 10 a.m. time slot for us here in the West Coast. So all of that said, I think what you guys said was perfect, because it gives you reason for hope, and it gives you reason to think about the future. And, before we get into this next coming game, I just want to talk, though, because there was some major glaring issues, I thought, with the play calling I didn't like. I mean, I know, again, I'm so happy that it's not McDaniels. He's just a villain. But I just feel like, the offensive coordinator, I think he made some really bad mistakes. I mean, I don't know if all those were his call or what the deal was. Like, on fourth down, why do you throw it up the sideline,
I hated that. Yeah,
that never works. That play never works. And
then he threw it. Didn't he throw it at Ramsey too?
Yeah. Oh, right. To Ramsey, intercepted.
Yeah, it's like, man, like honestly, to me personally, and again, it may not be Bo, it might be Aiden going through his progressions or whatever, but you should never really throw at Ramsey unless it's Devontae over there. Now, I'll take that one-on-one. But if it's Ramsey versus Trey Tucker, no, don't throw that under any circumstance, That's just me.
Yeah, no, and to just the management of the game, too, I really didn't like, like the way that they handled, like, the end of the game or even the end of the first half. I thought, I'm glad they made the field goal, but still, I would have loved to see a little more urgency and just managing the clock better. And I know that's going to come with time. So, with all that said, it makes me wonder, like, I know we got to wait this year out and see, but moving forward, I mean, what would you guys like to see? If you had a wish list, I mean, what would you like to see the Raiders do with their coaching situation? Because, I mean, moving forward, I don't think we're going to be able to keep Bo as our offensive coordinator. I mean, that guy's never been an offensive coordinator. He's a quarterback's coach at best. And then after that, you got to get rid of McDaniel's playbook. So you're going to need a real offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, I would love to see our man stay right there. I mean, what he's doing is spectacular. I just wonder if he's going to get his shot at a head coaching job, because he's really turned this around. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on, like, a wish list for the coaching staff, whoever wants to jump in.
You go, Chris.
Yeah, I think, for sure. First things first, I think we have to keep Pierce in place as a head coach, just because he's given this organization everything that we need from, just the fan base is excited again. The alumni is excited. I was at the Miami game, but last week I was at the Jets game. And again, it felt like we actually had home field advantage.
That's awesome.
Like when can we say we had home field advantage since being in Vegas, man? So it's just like, it's just a little things that, you hear Antonio talk, and, he's not politically correct, but he talks like a Raider should talk, like he just gives you that feel. It's not like he's not a corporate guy. He's a guy that has made a living rolling his sleeves up, played his ass off on the field, and he's working his way up through the ranks as a coach, and he's a player's coach. So starting there, we got to keep him in place. I would like to keep Patrick Graham in place as well, because I don't want to mash up anything on defense, because they're finally starting to develop. It's finally starting to click. I think we're about 2 or 3 guys away from that being a real, almost elite defense, because we need someone else to help Max that has that same type of motor as Max. I mean, not that many guys do, but I'd like to see him get some help in the middle.
Excuse me.
Lane is a dog, so I really think our defense is close. On offense, I think we have all the pieces we need on offense. We need a play caller that can make it easy on his quarterback. I think Aiden – I don't think Aiden's a quarterback of the future, for one, because I think in today's age, you need somebody that can move. You need someone that can help themselves a little bit. Aiden has a nice arm. He's probably smart enough, probably has a work ethic. But in today's age, I mean, you got defensive tackles running 4.6, 4.5, 4.7, so having those Marino or Brady or Peyton Manning type guys, I think that's the the football of the ages. So I think you need somebody that can at least extend the play. You don't got to be a Michael Vick or anything, but someone that can extend the play, help out your offensive lineman a little bit, and make a play. So I would like to see a young offensive minded coordinator that knows how to put guys in position to help out his quarterback.
That would be great, honestly. And I think you're so right there, because me and Joe were talking about this yesterday at lunch. You can't make the same mistake we made with Bisaccia again. You know what I mean? We can't. Yeah. You got the guys in the locker room fighting, and you see a different level of fight in this team. So you can't do that. I think you're right. I think the biggest thing is we just need a new offensive play caller, somebody that's innovative, somebody that could come in and really utilize what we have. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're also right on the quarterback. I think Aiden O'Connell could be a good backup in this league. Right. But I don't see him just like you said, in this modern. We don't need to have, like you said, modern Michael Vick, or we don't need that. But you need a guy like Mahomes who's elusive. Yeah, who can move in the pocket and can make some things happen. I mean, I don't know what it would take to get somebody like Caleb Williams, but I mean, somebody like that would be amazing for me. That would be at the top of my wish list. What about you, Joe? What do you think? I mean, are you all in on Harbaugh? What are you thinking?
Well, look, I mean, I'm at a crossroads here, because I would love to see Harbaugh, but I'm not about to make the same mistake that we did with Bisaccia, right? So we got to play out the year. If AP has it, he obviously has the team backing him. So I can't sit here and say I don't want AP to be my coach. I want him to be our coach. I want the players to play hard like that. So, if it was, we had Josh McDaniels, and I'm like, fuck, if we had Harbaugh. We didn't have Harbaugh. Now it's like, do we want AP or do we want Harbaugh? That's a tough one, but we got to play out this year, see how it turns out. But you look at who's successful now, who the successful coaches, right? The guys that aren't necessarily the Bill Belichick of the world, the X's and O's guys, Josh not Josh McDaniels,
Mike McDaniels.
Mike McDaniels from Miami, dude. He's dancing.
He's like a little nerd,
bro. Yeah, he's dancing with the players on the field, bro. He's not the typical coach that you would see. Look at even in our lifetime with our Raider coaches, right? Who's the best one? John Madden, bro. He wasn't politically correct at all, right? So being politically correct makes me like AP even more than talking to, listening to Josh McDaniels' press conference. Just a bunch of mumble jumble, So you're going to get real stuff with AP. So I'd be totally happy with giving him a full year, taking the interim tag off. But I will say 100%. I don't care who we bring in. We cannot. If AP has us on the verge of making the playoffs after the beginning of this year, there is no doubt about he needs to be our coach next year. Because if we jump ship on him, do the same thing that we did with Bisaccia, and it doesn't work out, there's going to be fucking anarchy in the Raider Nation, bro. And we don't need
that. Bro. We've already gone through that. We already did a lot of that. Those were rough times, man. And I think you're dead. Both of you guys are dead on straight. I mean, just to play devil's advocate, though, I mean, Harbaugh is a winner. I mean, if I watched that last game, the one against Purdue, and those players were fired up for him, and he wasn't even there. I mean, so he's a guy I think players could get behind too. He's another guy though that likes to piss people off. So I mean, Chris, you know more about it. You live out there in the Midwest. I mean, shoot, isn't that the game this week? Isn't Ohio State playing Michigan?
Yeah, so the crazy thing, and it cracks me up like when I hear people talk about Harbaugh, because though I am in Ohio, I am a Michigan fan.
All right.
So, and even a few years back, there's a lot of rumors about Harbaugh, potentially going to the Raiders and stuff like that. But to be honest, man, I don't want Harbaugh in the Raiders. I think Harbaugh's always going to be suited better for the college. He has some success in the NFL, but the thing with Harbaugh, his personality, man, it's like he's not like Gruden, because he's more of a people's guy than Gruden. But Harbaugh's like, I think in time he'll rub players the wrong way. Like other millionaires, he'll rub the wrong way. So like stuff like almost kind of like Urban Meyer. So it's like when you get some kids that are going to work their ass off because they have a goal to get to the NFL, like you can get away with certain stuff. Like you can talk to guys a certain type of way, you can act a certain way. But like when you're dealing with like that's why I don't think Dion would ever be good in the NFL. And that's why Urban Meyer would never be, and that's why Nick Saban wasn't good in the NFL. It's like I don't think they had that personality that millionaires can get behind and run through a wall. AP has that because he played at that level. I mean, in Harbaugh, especially with all the scandals that's going on, he's going to end up leaving Michigan just because he's going to be looking at probably some suspensions and some additional suspensions probably. But I just don't think it's going to be a good fit. I mean, he did well the first time around, but he should stay in college. That's just me. And again, I'm a Michigan fan. I love Harbaugh, but that's just my view.
And I could. Here's the other thing you need to think about too. I think if you're Mark Davis, Harbaugh is going to be a much higher price tag than
AP.
And we're already, we already made the mistake. I mean, I'm not even saying Gruden was a mistake, but we're still paying him. And Josh was a mistake. McDaniels was a mistake, and we're still paying him. So we can't afford. I mean, it's not my money, but we look like fucking donkeys when we hire these coaches and have to fire them all the time. And I don't like the Raiders that look for the Raiders. So
absolutely,
it's going to have to be something dramatic that happens at the end of the season for us not to roll with AP. Like if we lose the rest of our games and
I agree.
loses the locker room, which I don't see, I think we got to go with AP. And offensive coordinator, I don't really have an answer for that, Ern. I guess we have to see who's available and really ultimately how Bo does the rest of the way, right? He could, you could tell watching the game, loving the defense, but you could tell that, they don't have all the trust in O'Connell as of yet, right? He's a rookie, so they're calling plays. Even us, right? We said we need to take the training wheels off, and as soon as we take the training wheels off, make that pass, he throws an interception.
He like crashed. Real quick. Here's my thought. What if you could do this? This would be amazing, and I don't know if it's possible, but what if you could roll with AP and then bring in Eric Bieniemy as the coordinator?
I love Eric Bieniemy. Look what he's doing with Washington, bro.
I would love that, but he's going. His next move will be a head coach.
It's actually a shame that he isn't a head coach yet.
I know it really is.
Yeah. So I mean, he's getting a head coach after he left Kansas City, right? Because obviously they're probably saying, well, it's not really Bieniemy, it's Mahomes. Kansas City's offense is horrible right now. Right. In Washington, they have the number one quarterback in the league right now in pass yards. I don't know how it is after this last week, but he's got Washington competing, and that Washington team shouldn't be competing right now. So,
at all.
Yeah, and they're fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
He's either going to be the head coach of Washington, taking over for Rivera, or he's going to be head coach somewhere next year. I mean, if we can get him as offensive coordinator, I say fucking get him. Pay him head coach money to bring him in as offensive coordinator. I don't care. But he's good.
Yeah. Another dream scenario would be somehow get Caleb Williams and get that USC coach to be the coordinator. He'll never do it, though. Lincoln Riley would probably never want to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of some names. Maybe they'll go with Cliff Kingsbury. He was an offensive assistant for USC. Maybe they're going to go after Kyler Murray. That's the name I keep hearing about, that the Raiders might pursue Kyler Murray next year. Because as much as you wouldn't like that?
No, man. I mean, because at this point, like I think our team, our nucleus is like they want to be hard workers. Like I just don't feel like Kyler's going to put the work in. From everything that I hear, he's not a good teammate. Like I don't even want to bring that into what we're trying to build. Honestly, like we got a hell of a group of leaders right now, man. And I don't want a quarterback that's going to be lazy. I mean, not saying he's lazy, but I don't know, man. Kyler just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I'm cool on him.
I saw a podcast earlier from Chat Sports, Mitchell Rants. I don't know if you guys are watch that one, but he's talking about there's rumors about Justin Fields too, and I'm not a fan of Justin
Don't even
Fields.
start with that. Come on, no way. That guy can't hit a side of a bus.
Yeah, so but they're mobile, like what we're talking about. Those are two mobile quarterbacks.
Mobile, but very inefficient.
Yeah. Like, I mean, honestly, like, I know we're talking about Caleb, but honestly, Caleb's not the only mobile guy that's coming out. Like, I think Bo Nix can move a little bit.
Yep.
Drake May can move a little bit. I think a lot of these players, even Penix from Washington, these guys can move. Even in the NFL, like Justin Herbert can move. Burrow can move enough. It's just like I don't need a guy that can just run a 4. He don't have to run a 4, but give me a guy that can, even Carr, like even how Carr was. Carr was more athletic than what he showed. Carr could move. He was just scared once he got hurt. But just give me a guy that can at least evade a defender and, help out the offensive line for another second. That's all I want.
Yeah. It may even come down to, at the end of the day, we're talking about if we're fighting for a playoff spot, right? I mean, did AP earn his place to be a full-time coach for next year? I think he did over the last 2 weeks, but especially if we're fighting for a playoff spot. And if we're fighting for a playoff spot, then we're going to be in the conversation. All right, do we give O'Connell a year then? Do we give O'Connell a full year to see if he's the guy? I mean, yeah, we can all sit here and say mobile quarterbacks that's the nature of the league this year, but there's still quarterbacks that are doing it that aren't very mobile,
No, either way, they're going to have to draft somebody.
Yeah,
because with going the free agent route, it doesn't really make much sense because you're still going to be stuck with Jimmy G's contract.
Mm-hmm.
And that, as I mentioned, Jimmy G, I mean, is there any point where you guys would say, hey, why don't we just see what Jimmy G could do here?
I don't think we go back anymore. I don't think we go backwards. I think we got to see what O'Connell does the rest of this year will determine what we do in the draft, to be honest. I think to your point, we're gonna draft a quarterback regardless. But if we know by the end of this year that we really got to get a quarterback, then we got to start utilizing our assets and drafting and utilizing our assets to move up in the draft, because we're not going to be a top, even if at this point right now we're probably looking at mid-level draft pick. And that's not going to get one of the top quarterbacks.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about this week's game then, just real quick. Let's get into this Chiefs matchup, man. The hated Chiefs. I've been watching them. I watched them on Monday night. Now, obviously, the Eagles are one of the best teams in football, so it's hard. It's hard to say, but they don't look that good. They don't look that good, Joe. Protect Shield. You could say fill in here on what you think, but to me, I don't think they look. They don't look Super Bowl worthy. They don't look like the same team. I don't know. What do you guys think about the Chiefs? I mean, can we beat them?
Yeah, to me, it's like I don't want to let the last game get us overly excited because, we did play great against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins got the number 1 offense. But, what's his name? Tua made some mistakes. And the thing is, Mahomes, for one, he knows how to beat us. And Mahomes, I mean, no matter what we say about him, he's the best quarterback in the league. So we got to make sure we don't go in overconfident, because what we got away with last game, we may not be able to get away with against the Chiefs. However, those daggone Chiefs receivers are trash.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
man.
trash. Like if we can figure out a way, which, I mean, that's just like the cure for cancer. If you figure out a way how to stop Kelsey, then we'll be okay. But I don't know if Tyler or whatever name, Taylor Swift needs to just not show up or whatever, but we got to figure out a way to slow him down, because the rest of those receivers are trash. And, we should be able to, but also their defense isn't that bad either. Like that Chris Jones.
Oh, their defense is good.
Yeah.
He scares me. So we got to figure out something for him too.
Yeah, I think Chris is spot on. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes can throw it up in the air and catch it himself, then the Chiefs will be better off.
Exactly.
Because he threw some dimes, bro. I mean, they should have won that game, and it wasn't because of Patrick Mahomes. It's because they had so many drops. It was like, oh my God, I messaged my friend Ray because I knew he's a Chiefs fan. I knew he was probably banging his head against the wall because they should have won that game. So, this is another game where, man, if you're going to tell me before the game, if we got a chance to win it in the fourth quarter, I'll take that every day, bro. This is not a game. The good thing about the Raiders, what we've seen since AP's come around. I mean, we played up to the competition. We didn't play down. We whooped on the Giants, which we should have. We played a tough Jets defense, and then we played up to Miami. So if we could play up to the Chiefs, their defense is really what's going to get them there this year. And honestly, their offense can too if they can catch the ball, because they should have won by double digits yesterday. And just because they can't, they're to your point, there's just with our luck, the receivers all of a sudden start catching the ball against us.
Right.
But yeah, if you're gonna tell me this game, I think we're gonna continue the momentum. Where I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3-1, 4-1 at home. And that's really with only one home game against the Jets, because the other home games were probably 50-50 because nobody wanted to go support the Raiders under Josh McDaniels.
No.
But if we're going to be competing, if you could tell me we're competing and we have a chance to win in the fourth quarter, I'll take it and we'll roll with that,
Yeah. I mean, is this, though, in your mind, do you guys, do you feel like in order to have any shot of the playoffs? I mean, I know it's kind of crazy to be talking playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
But is this a must-win game to stay in the hunt in the AFC? Obviously, right?
I think we have to. It's an AFC game. It's a division game. There's so many teams that are 5-6, 5-5. We went on a 2-game winning streak, and we moved up from probably the worst teams in the league to the number 8 or 9 seeds. So if we can beat this game, then we got. I think we're a bye after this week, and then we have Minnesota, Chargers. I mean, maybe not in this order. I'm just thinking of the rest of the schedule. Minnesota, Chargers. We have the Colts in there, the Chiefs again, the Broncos,
Denver.
And then So I mean, this is a game where we have to split against KC, and this is probably our best chance to go in and win it.
Yeah, because the next one's going to be in the cold.
Yeah, next one's going to be in cold. So.
But O'Connell is a guy. I mean, playing at Purdue. I mean, I don't even. Where is Purdue? Is that like somewhere near Chicago? Where is that? Anyway?
Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it cold? Does it get real cold over there?
Oh yeah, right? yeah.
So he knows how to play in the cold. Probably better.
Oh yeah. He'll be fine in the cold.
Yeah, Crosby does too. I mean, it's just more of home field advantage. Get the Raiders at home against the Chiefs, and naturally we usually play them pretty tough, even when they should be blowing us out. So I think with the right attitude and ultimately, AP's got to keep preaching it. You got to believe you're going to win. If you go in there thinking you're going to lose, you're going to lose. Just believe you can beat anybody, and I really think that they can beat anybody. They proved it, and let's go out and show it.
I mean, to me, the biggest thing is the running game. If you can get the running game. And it's still, I mean, it was a miracle we stayed in it. We stayed in it because of the defense last week. But, if we could get the running game going like we had against the Jets and the Giants, then to me, I think we do have a solid chance. But I don't know. I would like to ask Chris, man, what do you think? What do you think the odds are of us beating KC this week? I mean, I know you said we can't just go off of last week, but do you think it can be done?
I mean, there's a lot of variables, man. I think, I definitely think we can beat them. But it's one of those things. We just got to prove it, man. Because, the Andy Reid effect, that they have the upper hand from a coaching standpoint. I think, our offense and their defense is going to match up pretty well. I think it just depends on what our offense can do. If I would say if I'm a betting man, I am a betting man, but I would say I would still say it's 50-50. Like I'm not overly confident. For the main reason is until I see us get Josh Jacobs going again, because if Aiden has to throw 30, 40 times a game, we're going to struggle. So, we got to be able to feed our beast and keep it going and keep Mahomes on the sideline. If we can do that, then I think we got a good chance. But I would say it's a toss-up right now.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to look up and see. I think the X factor, one of them is Colton Miller. and need to get him
Oh,
back.
we got to get him back. Have to.
Got to get him back. And I don't know. I'm trying to look at the report here. I don't see any update, and we won't probably really know until Friday.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I think if Spillane could be, a guy that can finally just kind of close down Kelce a little bit, maybe get him and Diablo on him, or maybe put I like that safety that played Polamalu. Yeah, his cousin.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He looks fast.
Honestly, that's probably the matchup that I would do, just because he's tall, he's fast. He might be able to give Kelce a little bit of problem, but yeah, I don't think Spillane's not going to be able to keep up with him. I'd rather Spillane kind of flow like he has been. But yeah, we need to put a safety on that guy. Got to.
Yeah. Well, man, it's going to be
right
exciting, man.
Yeah, Vegas right now, Vegas always disrespects the Raiders, but they got us Kansas City favored by 8.5 at Allegiant Stadium. So Vegas is saying that there's an 85% chance that Kansas City wins this game. They only given us a 15% chance at home. So I'm a betting man too, brother. So I'll take those odds any day of the week. I think we definitely have way more better than a 15% chance of winning that game. I think we'll definitely cover the 8.5. I look at this game and I look at this season, and this could be the game that when we look back in this season, that's the game that's the turning point right there. Not only hired AP, but they're not going to say you beat the Giants, you beat the Jets. Miami would have been that winning, that staple win. This win this Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs could be the staple win that really propels us to the next level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it could also elevate AP to take off the interim tag.
Mm-hmm.
You got to.
Yeah. You got to. We beat
the Chiefs. You got to.
Yeah, if we beat the Chiefs on Sunday, I better wake up on Monday that AP's our head coach now.
Absolutely. Sign the contract right there.
Yeah, move him into the big office. That was the funny story I heard this week, that he's still in his assistant coach's office.
Yeah. Give him the big corner office, man.
He said, I don't want to move twice. So that's something, man. Well, hey, I gotta say thanks, Chris, man, and it was really cool having you on here. I just hope people out there can just dive into your content and everything you guys are doing. You guys are on your show. Does it come out on? Because I see you on Twitter too, but is it on YouTube? Is it on?
Yeah. So it's on YouTube. It's under the Protect the Shield podcast channel. You can actually catch me there. So I have I do a weekly show on Friday, so called Fan Talk Friday, that I do every week. That. Yeah, and then I also have I do just kind of a co-host with one of my friends, Spicy Raider Girl. We do that every Wednesday usually, but with the holidays we didn't do it today. But we do that, and I have some good interviews that I've done so far. I've won with Hugh Jackson, former coach Hugh Jackson.
That's awesome.
We were able to have a very good conversation. Told me a lot of good behind the scenes stuff, just about Al Davis's last days and just how that whole year went when he was coach. That was such a great interview. I really enjoyed that. Also, some of the diehard fans may remember Bruce Gronkowski.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I interviewed him, had a very good conversation with him. Had an interview with Stu Swaggart on there, and I
remember him.
Swaggart. Yeah, that's my guy, Stu.
Dang, how do you get all these interviews? That's so cool.
Yeah, man, just networking, man. Really just networking and just reaching out to him, honestly. And
those interviews are on which show though? Are they on the Protect the Shield podcast, or are they on the other one?
Yeah, on Protect the Shield. So if you go on there and then you can look up in my playlist, I got live interviews, so you can see the live interviews that I got. Because I'm new to this. I've only started. I started in April this year. And I've really ascended pretty quickly as far as just doors opening up for me. And I got a very big interview coming on bye week that I'm excited to do as well. So, I've just been working hard and grinding, man. I love the Raiders to the death, man. So and I love meeting other fans. I'm glad I had a chance to kind of network with you on Twitter, man. So, I love it. And hopefully I can get you on my show sometime.
Oh, I'd love to do that, man. And anytime, just let me know. Like I said, normally we do this one on Wednesdays, but I'm also trying to expand it. And we went for a while just audio, and then now we went back to the video platform. So we're on Spotify and YouTube too. But I'm gonna be definitely checking through your playlist because I got to see those interviews, man. I was a huge Hugh Jackson fan, and I was real sad when he got let go.
You'll love it, man. In fact, what I'll do is I'll send you the link in Twitter for that interview.
Thank you.
It's a great interview, man. I mean, we talked about everything, just a lot of behind the scenes decisions that were made and why they were made, and I learned I thought I knew so much, but he told me a lot of the inner workings, man. It was a great.
That's so cool. I'm very seriously interested in hearing that and listening to that because like I said, I was heartbroken when he was let go, and it's kind of like a teardown, and we've gone through this so many times, and hopefully we don't have to go through it again. So, Hey, man, thanks again for coming on. And Joe, I want to just wish both you guys, a very happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you get together with your families and friends and have a good celebration and just give some thanks because, we got a lot to be thankful for in this country, and even as Raider fans, things are on the up and up. So, thanks again, you guys. Thanks again.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Talk to you later, Raider Nation. Peace out.
All right.
Go Raiders.
Take care.
Baby. Peace out.